Hey everybody, how's it going? Thank you for joining me. My name is Kenneth Mejia and I'm here with the Mayor-elect of Baldwin Park, Emmanuel Estrada. Emmanuel Estrada, give a wave to the camera, to all your supporters and fans. All right, and if you don't know me, I'm a huge Green Party hype man, activist. I love helping our party, and we ran couple times before for Congress, and just a proud Green, and just to have this time right now with the mayor-elect, we are, I'm very honored, and I'm sure we all are very honored to have his time here. And so, I mean, without further notice, let's just get right into it, Emmanuel. So, first of all, how does it feel to be a 20-year mayor incumbent?
I mean, definitely exciting, right? I don't know. I think it maybe hasn't hit me yet. We aren't using the W or the B word yet because the votes are still being counted. But we've held the lead this long, so it's very exciting, to be able to see that the effort was worth it. That this effort is paying off, and even just the fact that we're in the lead is it's exciting. I don't think there's any words to kind of explain, kind of like what's going on. So I guess maybe I'm still not fully, in acceptance of what's going on, but I'm sure as, time goes by and the count ends and things become more official, I'm sure it'll hit.
Awesome. No, definitely. I bet, getting those results on election day, like, whoa, and right now people don't know right now you're up 50, it's 50, you have 53%, right? Around there or more?
Yeah, so we're like at 53 and some decimals. So we are ahead by a little bit over 1,100 votes.
Awesome, awesome. And then, there's just what, just a little over 1,000 ballots left to count, they say?
I would hope so, but the count keeps changing. I mean, primarily because we know that a lot of people are voting by mail, so it's kind of hard to know, how many ballots are really out there and how many got, mailed out on time. So, but the good news about all this is that there has been a major voter turnout. I think we're close to 18,000 voters out of the 30,000 registered voters in the city. So that's very high compared to regular elections. So that's something to be excited about.
Awesome. All right. And then let's just get into you for those who don't know you. So tell us about yourself. Who is Emmanuel Estrada?
That's I guess that's a good question, right? Who is Emmanuel? So I don't think many of you know me, but my name is Emmanuel Estrada. I live in Baldwin Park. I got involved with the Greens when Kenneth was running, and I reached out to him, and I told him that I too had aspirations of running, and that was I want to say about 3 or 4 years ago, before the first time I ran. So I define myself as somebody that comes from the working class and an immigrant household, and I'm very proud to say that. And I think it's very important so that we all realize what we can achieve regardless of where we come from and how important it is that we get involved so that we represent our community. Um, I started organizing with Kenneth in Skid Row, and that's one of my favorite things. And that's probably one of the things that I miss most during the pandemic. It was such a cool effort to be out there, and we all team up and create a collective and organize what we're going to do and how we're going to go about it, and setting up the logistics of it. Beyond that, we've organized for better housing and tenant rights, and I'm excited about everything that we've done, and I'm looking forward to what we're going to do next.
Awesome. Yeah. And for those who didn't know, I met Manny in 2017. And since then, like he said, Manny has been feeding thousands of those living on the streets, whether it's a meal, hygiene products, or whatnot. Sometimes, some of us couldn't be there, but he would still organize it. If it was just him or two other people, he would still go out there and help those living on the streets in Skid Row and LA, throughout LA County in general. So, that it's really awesome that we have someone here, a youth member, a working class, someone that we could relate to, who's actually, comes from our backgrounds, who are fighting for the right reasons. And so tell us more about Baldwin Park and the city that you live in.
So I live in Baldwin Park, and it's a suburb of Los Angeles. We're about 25 minutes away from downtown LA. We have a population of around 75,000 to 80,000 people, and the average household here makes around $60,000. We have a strong Latino and Hispanic community, and I think it's a great place to live. It's very exciting to see that a lot of the people here have a history. Our city was incorporated a little bit over 60 years ago, so there's strong generational bonds here, and I really, I love the city, and I really want to see it continue to grow, but without it being at the expense of the people who live here.
Awesome, great answer. And the next question, why did you become a Green Party member in the first place?
So I just, the easiest way to say this is, 31 flavors of ice cream at Baskin Robbins. Why do we have only two choices when it comes to politics, right? We have to get away from these polarization, and I think that's what happens when we give each other only two choices. It's a yes or a no. It's a black or a white, and I don't think that's the right way to do it. I think politics and political ideology is a spectrum. We all have different ways of thinking. We all have different ways of thinking of how we can get issues solved. So there's more than two ways to do things, and it's very important that we increase diversity, especially in the political world, and especially in times like this.
Awesome. All right. And next question. Why did you decide to run for mayor for Baldwin Park?
I thought it was important. Um, I think municipal politics have been overlooked for too long. We see all this hype and excitement about Congress. No offense, Kenneth. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're
No,
right.
but
You're right.
we see all this excitement about like Congress and Senate, and we see all this excitement about the president, and we see all this excitement about you know about higher levels of government, but nobody is really paying attention to what's going down the street from them. And that's a problem, arguably. And I would argue that municipal politics are the most important level of government that you have to pay attention to. They are the ones that have the most direct impact on you. And a lot of times you don't see that. We talk about housing, we talk about homelessness, we talk about water quality, we talk about education, and we talk about fixing the problem. We know that it's not your genes that are going to define how healthy or how successful you're going to be. It's your zip code, right? We know that a lot of these things that we talk about, the socioeconomic barriers that are hurting a lot of us, can be combated at the local level. So I think municipal government is important. I think it's one of the best ways to get involved, and I think it's one of the best. It's one of the most. There's some of the most winnable races. Obviously there's special interest money everywhere, but at the municipal level, the amount is much smaller, and you have a much more even playing field.
Got it. Got it. And then, was there, something happening in Baldwin Park, certain issues that were core to you that sort of urged you as well to run, that pushed you wanting to run, that you wanted to change?
Yeah, I think like many other cities around us, I think that a lot of these cities are developing, but it's not for the community. It's at the expense of the community, and I think that's a problem. I think we shouldn't put the burden of development on the most vulnerable. I think that we need to be creative and we need to be ambitious in how we move forward and how we create a strong economy and how we better funding and how we better education. And I think that it doesn't have to be the way we're told it has to be.
Right. No, that's very important. And just like how you said earlier, how it's so important to get involved in municipal elections, local politics, because everything is local, right? And a lot of the things like housing, homelessness, green spaces are at the city level, which a lot of people don't, pay attention to as much as those big races. So 100%, I encourage everyone watching here to look into your local elections. Those are huge winnable seats that we could win, right? And Emmanuel is an example of that. So let's talk about the next. How were you able to win, or how are you able to be winning right now on your most recent November 3rd election?
I, I mean, we're still trying to figure it out, right? I'm just very humbled by the whole count. I was really surprised when I first saw it. But I think it's just when you communicate with voters and you engage with them, I think as long as you are honest about your views and your values, and I think people respond to that. I think our city wants change, and I think that they are willing to trust me and trust what I'm saying, and believe me when I say that I want a better city for all of us. We ran in 2018, and in that time we ran against two people, and we got 18.15% of the vote. This year we're at over half of the vote. So it's interesting to see, how your vote percentage can change. But I think also we were talking about real issues and we were able to back them up. Every city is going to have issues, and we talked about why it's an issue and how it's going to affect us in the long run. And I think that's important. I think that was one of the things that we wanted to do. We want to change the way people run municipal elections. There's so many issues at hand, and we can't allow municipal politics to be some sort of popularity contest where you vote for your neighbor just because you know them or things like that. So yeah, I think the efforts that we made were really attractive. We made sure that we were very presentable. Our image, our social media, our website, if you saw our social media, you've seen multiple videos, and they all talk about one issue or another, and they talk about the facts, and they get really precise on the local level. So, and I think that was also something that really enticed voters.
Yeah, I mean, if all you watching here haven't seen Emmanuel's videos, you all should check it out. It's on his social media pages. He really goes in depth about the issues that Baldwin Park residents are facing, and they're short and concise, and he gets straight to the point. So many people, you should go and watch those videos. All right, now let's talk about COVID-19. How has that affected Baldwin Park and your community? And also, how did that affect your campaigning?
So it's hard, right? Because you don't want to go and knock on doors and talk to people, especially during a pandemic. You don't want to, have that type of, you don't want to have to deal with that type of issue. So we really pushed social media. We pushed, getting to people virtually, and we did do literature drops, and you were there helping, and a lot of other greens were. We just left the door hanger on the door and hoped that they would see it, and then we moved on to the next door. So we knew that it was going to be difficult, but we didn't let that be a factor, and we figured out a way to move forward. I think in general, the pandemic is hurting a lot of people, and I don't think we're talking about it enough. I think it's hard. A lot of families are having to work from home, and they're having to juggle their children's virtual education, or some families are still having to work from their location, and their kids have nowhere to go because there's no school. So there's a lot of issues that are affecting people, and you know and you also have to realize that it's very difficult for some kids to learn the way that they're being forced to right now, and that's creating a another barrier for future generations of working class and immigrant families. So there's a lot of things to cover, and try to get creative on how we can figure solution out for this.
Right, exactly. I mean, thanks for telling us, what you did, what your community is going through, especially making that reference to a lot of children. Some people, for some kids, they're very difficult to learn remotely, right? And also to be a parent and then working multiple jobs, and I have three nephews and a niece, and they're always they're having trouble, studying and learning during COVID. So definitely, I think it's a great point that you brought up as well. So, since you are the mayor elect, what are some issues that you like to address during your first term?
I, you know, we're I It's presumptive mayor elect, right? So it's not this is official. I'm gonna stay humble. But I want to address a lot of things. I want to get creative and figure out. We know that the pandemic is really taking a toll on cities everywhere, right? Because revenue is being lost. So it's hurting the city's abilities to offer services, and it's hurting their ability to keep programs open. So I think during my first term, I really want to work on building trust and building some sort of connection with the community, as many people as possible. Obviously, there's one of me and many of them, so it's going to be a little bit of work, but I'm excited. I think I have the energy. I'm looking to really, in general terms, increase the trust in City Hall, and increase the trust and better the image of our city. And I think these are important things to talk about, and I think they're possible. But it's very important for people to keep in mind that change, although change is inevitable and change is, undeniably coming, it's gonna take time. There's a process to everything, and I just want to make sure that everybody is patient, but also, more than that, everybody's more than able to keep me in check. So that's what I'm going to focus on, making sure that we can get through this together, make sure that morale is boosted, and that we're all creating a sense of community, in some of the toughest times.
Great answers. All right. And, for a question which involves everyone here watching, how can we, the people, support you as you, go on to your first term?
I think everybody can follow along, and You know, reach out, stay in touch, communicate. I am, you know, I mean, people are already doing that. My phone was like has been blowing up for the past couple of days. Um, but you know, I think most important of all is maybe how I can support everybody else. You know, I really want people to see that this was, you know, this campaign was always about more than just winning. You know, it was about making people understand that if you really wanted to make change, if you really want to do something, there is always a way, and it's going to be possible.
Got it. All right. So, those watching there, help your communities, right? The people that you live with, just as Manny's doing, just how, he ran because he wanted to make a difference, look into your communities and see where you could help as well. And the next question I have here is, and this comes from the chat as well, is, what advice do you have for Greens and, especially the youth who are looking up to you right now? Who are thinking about running for office, right? Because your race, your age, the fact that you ran as an outsider is really really inspiring. So, what advice do you have for people who are thinking about running in the future?
I think the main advice is you have to be creative. You know, we can sit here and we can look at a million reasons as to why we can't run, whether you think it's because it's your age or you don't have enough money or you know any other reason, or maybe you don't have a big enough team. These are not factors. Yes, it's beneficial if you have a lot of money. Yes, it's beneficial if you have a big team. Yes, it's beneficial if you have a nice resume, but these don't have to be the deciding factors in your ability to make a better city or a better county or a better state or country. The deciding factors are ultimately within you. Um, you know, I don't think a lot of people know this, but I took on a second job to fund this campaign. So it was hard, right? Because I had to juggle a full time job, a part time job, and then campaigning. But we had help from team members and volunteers. So it's don't let money be a factor. Don't let anything else be a factor. The only factors that matter are how willing you are to make that change happen. And whether you lose or win, you can't get discouraged. If you lose, you don't really lose. You just don't get elected. That's not a loss. There's a win as long as you make sure your campaign is making sure is advocating for issues that somebody else isn't talking about. As long as you're talking about the things that matter, you've already won. You've increased awareness of the issues. You've increased input. You've created a diverse perspective in the race that otherwise wouldn't have been there.
Awesome. That was a great answer. I need a tissue because I'm tearing up right now. But that's definitely so inspiring, right? Family man, 26, working two jobs, trying to fund the campaign. During the most polarizing time during COVID, and coming out at the other end with a great result. And I think it's very inspiring. I think a lot of people are really inspired when people are going to go back and watch this, and they sort of feel you. They sort of feel your heart, when you're speaking and whatnot. And I think for many of us watching this, and I'm sure, people from Baldwin Park, we just want to say thank you for doing that, right? And I guess our last thing that we want to ask is, anything else or final words that you'd like to share with people, with the residents of Baldwin Park, your voters, your supporters? What would you like to say?
I just want when you really want to do something, it sounds super corny, but it's true. You can do it, right? I always think about like, oh man, it's such a corny thing to say. It's so cheesy and so lame, but it's true, right? If you really want to fight socioeconomic barriers, if you really want to fight, economic differences and disparities in your community, you can do it. There's no reason why you can't get involved. And if you really want to do something, you're going to find a way. Get creative, and you will find a way. Don't let socioeconomic barriers be a factor to you, and trying to at the same time eliminate these socioeconomic barriers. So I highly encourage everybody to stay motivated, to stay positive, and to stay connected and brainstorm with one another. And change will come. Change happens every day. Every day, things change, right? Every day, your ability to own a home changes. Every day, your ability to get to work changes. Every day, your ability to stay in your neighborhood changes. You know, but whether your involvement is going to decide whether it's for the good or for the bad. I do believe that we can get involved and we can make a statement.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, Matt, Emmanuel, where can people follow you in your journey? Is there any social media that they could look at, or they could just, follow along the journey?
Yeah, so you can. I'm probably most active on Instagram, and you can follow at Estrada for Mayor, and that's also my Twitter handle. And ever since everybody's excited about this, my Twitter follower count has just it's off the charts. It's I think it's funny because I never really used Twitter. Like I'm like 26, but I'm like 50 in my mind. So it's like too much work. But I'm using it a lot more now, especially now that I have some followers. I think when I was campaigning, my Twitter was kind of like super like slow. I had like 80 followers or something, right? But yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter. I've become more active on there, and if you guys send something to me, best believe I'm trying to respond to everybody, and I'm looking at everything. It's just again, one of me, two hands. I can only respond and like so much in so little time. But yeah, so definitely you guys can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, social media. Stay in touch, and I definitely want to hear from all of you and engage in conversation.
Yeah. All right, everyone, make sure you go follow him. I think last time I checked on Twitter, he's at like 950. If you all go follow him on Twitter, he'll reach 1,000. And so, just follow along the journey with Emmanuel, right? Like, this is an exciting time. It's an exciting time for Greens in general. We ran 210 candidates, a lot at the local level. So far, we have elected 21 so far. So that's huge, right? And luckily for Emmanuel, he's actually the highest elected Green in the country right now, along with Mayor Bruce Delgado in Marina. So this is huge. We don't have a lot of mayors, right? As a matter of fact, so make sure you follow along. If help him along the way. Send him messages. Hopefully, when he has time, he could respond back to you. And yeah, anything else, Emmanuel, that you like to say, or you good? Or
I think I said it. Just you know, stay involved and stay excited, and just enjoy, and let this be a learning process. And just remember that elections can be about so much more than just winning. And make sure that your candidacies are rewarding to you and to your community. Regardless of whether you get elected or not.
All right, awesome. All right, well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you to the Green Party for hosting us, on their official pages. And yeah, if you're watching this, make sure you sign up at gp.org to stay involved and to stay in the loop about what's going on with the party. And yeah, make a difference in your community. We all can. And it all starts with you, whether it's you by yourself or you or two people, which will then grow, be it 10 people or 20 people. You'll never know what little actions can butterfly into something bigger. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, man. You want to wave to the camera and say bye to everybody?
See you all. I'll see you all on social media. And then, I'm looking forward to engaging with all of you.
All right. All right. Thank you, everybody.